Sister Philomena, it's me again, your favorite fellow chorister.
You're joking.
And today I just want us to discuss. And we're discussing about vocal registers. What are they? What do they do? We're all familiar with the term register. When we were in primary school, it's a book they used to write our name and tick present or absent. But vocal register, the term refers to a distinct collection of notes that require a similar technique to produce. What do I mean by that? Well, your range, like we've defined, is all the notes that you can sing. When you're singing these notes, you notice difference in the way they sound and the way they feel when you're producing them. That is because whether you are aware or not, there are slight differences in the techniques required to produce them. Also, your anatomy changes when you're producing certain different notes. Some notes are characterized by being light and high. Others have more depth and are low. And you have to sing from your lowest note to your highest note. I don't think they felt the same or sounded the same to you. The difference is they were produced in different registers. So a register is all the different compartments of muscle memory, also to say. All the different notes that belong in these compartments are said to be in the same register. The terms used to describe register are terms that people are quite familiar with. You've heard chest voice, you've heard head voice, right? Now, those are terms used to describe, firstly, the notes, but more commonly, the technique or the feel or the basic characteristics of the sound that the notes are characterized by. So let us explore them. In my research, I found five distinct vocal register classifications. The first one many people will not recognize as a vocal register. Now I'm starting from the lowest to the highest, and the lowest that I found in my research is vocal fry. Yes, vocal fry is a technique that you use to do a lot of things. It helps to strengthen your voice, but it's recognized as a vocal register. And the characteristics of vocal fry is that it is the lowest, and there is this distinct crackiness associated with notes produced in vocal fry. Sounds like Now those are notes and they have that characteristic sound. That's vocal fry. It's recognized as a register. Then sitting just above vocal fry is the modal register. And this is where most of our talking and singing happens. Modal register is comprised of two compartments, the lower compartment and the higher compartment, commonly called chest voice and head voice. Now, the chest voice region is characterized by depth, power, dynamism. So it is the heaviest and the strongest of the register, it produces the heaviest and strongest sounding note. That is what it means. Then the head voice is also quite heavy, but it's not as heavy as the chest voice. Chest voice is. So those two make up the modal register. The next is falsetto. And falsetto sits just above the modal register. It is characterized by lightness. Falsetto notes are light and fluid. What that means is that within the falsetto register, transitions can be quite fast. So it is where a lot of the fast melismatic singing happens. Then for certain people who have I won't say unique ability, but they have the ability to reach it, there is the whistle register. And the name is taken from whistle because of the nature of the note. The timbre of the note sound like the shrilling of a whistle. So if you place them as distinct units, you will get 5: vocal fry, head voice, chest voice, falsetto, whistle. But technically there are just 4 because head voice and chest voice are parts of the modal register. Now the anatomical differences between these things are described in different ways. I will do a little description here. What happens within your vocal folds when notes are produced in these different registers? That was one of the reasons why they were classified the way they were classified. Now, the whistle register has not exactly been studied as much as the others because it's been observed that the vocal folds closes entirely. So the vibration happens somewhere that certain research has not been able to cover it. So people have not been able to picture what happens in the vocal fold because it closes off. And you cannot force it open, otherwise you will not be able to achieve it. Also, the whistle register is not as common as the other ones. Falsetto, the actual vocal folds, they press against each other, and then there are some flaps around the vocal fold that vibrates. That is how falsetto is produced. And that is why it's not exactly as strong as the other registers below it. Because, well, the vocal folds in and of themselves are not vibrating as they are known to do. There are flaps of the vocal folds, an extension of the vocal folds that vibrate. But in the modal register, that's where all the mighty vibrations happen. Most of the things you know about vocal fold vibration happens in the modal register. What I'm doing right now is in my modal register. I'm talking in chest voice. We talk mostly in a modal register unless we're doing mimicry or, we're trying to do these kind of things. Now I've moved it up the modal register to what we call head voice. I'm trying to do these kind of things and, it's sounding like this, and then falsetto can sound something like this. I cannot do the whistle. It comes and goes. So that's what happens in the vibration of the body. Now we're going to discuss more of this when we talk about resonation, because irrespective of how the vibration is happening, there are also how the sound is being amplified. So that part is resonation. But these are basically the registers. But then, the more important register, now I'm quoting this because the term register is used to apply to them technically, is the mixed voice. You may have heard about it. What is mixed voice? We've established what the registers are, and we have a little clue on what the notes sound like. But what happens when you want to hit a note that you cannot reach using your modal register? That's to say, you have to use falsetto or something higher, but you want it to sound powerful like it were in the modal register. So the technique required would mean that some of the vibrations would have to happen as though you were producing falsetto, and some of the vibrations would have to happen as though you're producing in the modal register. So you'd have to mix the registers up. That's technically what mixed voice is, using techniques that apply beyond one register. And it gives you mixed characteristics because you get certain features of one register and certain features of the other register combined. That is how your favorite praise singers are able to hit some insanely high notes with power, and you wonder, wow. Because you'll agree with me that if somebody is singing and the person tries to hit certain notes in falsetto, it doesn't really tally with the kind of song. Depending on the intensity, you want to hear the person open their mouth and hit certain notes with power. That's how you know that the person can sing, right? Well, mixed register. So my advice, as I always do, is understand all the registers that you are able to produce. Recognize the technique with which they are produced. Then emphasize the mixed register. You should be able to move from deep in your chest voice to falsetto and back without it being obvious. Typical example is what Uche did when he was singing I Wish I Could Hurt You Back. Figures. You know, that second figures, and then he went up and came back down. It felt very smooth because he had mastered his mixes. So he can just enter and come out like that. So that is what I would encourage everybody to work on. Like I've always said here, I've not started throwing out vocal exercises on this channel. So it's not like I'm advertising my exercises. But look for exercises that talk about mixed voice. You hear stuff like chesty mix, heady mix. Listen to the person explain it and try out the exercises. Strengthen your mixed voice, and it will give you a more connected flow from vocal fry if you can produce it, all the way to whistle if you can produce it. Those are the registers. Subscribe for more. In this channel, we discuss a lot about music, singing, and having fun. Thank you for watching.